Mad Lions' absolutely best interest to put everything they can into what will be a tough game, but one they can certainly win.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I think one thing when I look at the side of Mad Lions is I want to see them go back towards more early game and more drafts that give them prio, like we saw against PGG. Because when I look at the Mad Lions roster, player for player, I don't necessarily think any of them are outright weaker laners than the side of RNG. And I think we've seen when Mad Lions have a lead, like when they beat Cloud9 the first time, they can very decisively close out the game.
Absolutely, and I think there's a lot to look for here on either side, but I think the bottom lane's actually a really exciting one, especially with how Gala and Ming looked in their first game of the day up against Damwon. But Kazi and Kaiser have been great this tournament as well. Kaiser, especially to me, has been a player I've really loved watching all throughout this tournament, but we've talked about him already. We're probably going to keep doing it because Ming is just having an absolute banger of an MSI.
Yeah, Ming is definitely a standout player here. You know, Pastry, I think maybe time to, say some bold statements. Maybe the best player of the tournament.
I think he's right now easily the best player of the tournament. Ming to me has been super impressive. But I know you have maybe a warmer take.
Best player in the world right now, Pastry.
Goodness.
We're going all the way, but we're in draft. So interesting to me that we're seeing so many top lane bans come out for the side of Mad Lions, right? We're seeing Renekton and Lee Sin, and now the Udyr ban, still the Rumble and the Morgana left open. Oh, this actually is something we have not seen let through all that much. It's the second most banned champion at MSI, and we're getting Gala's Varus.
Okay, Varus is again, we haven't seen much of it, and it has been, okay, I think when we have seen it, but it has been banned a lot for a reason. Typically, this is not a champion you let through. It's just so unbelievably powerful, but the bans alongside Udyr were Renekton and Lee Sin for the Mad side, with Zoe, Thresh, and Senna on the other side for RNG. So it is going to be Varus let through there. Mad Lions, certainly with a plan in this situation, would have predicted this to be the first pick, and Lucian going to be the first one out of here for Mad Lions, likely for Humanoid. I'm guessing Armut can play it, but I don't think he's played it, certainly this tournament. I don't know if he's even played it this year, but there is some potential flexibility. Yes, even Kazi could play it, but it has been a mid lane champion for the most part this tournament, and Rumble actually going to be selected for Elyoya. So despite not looking as good on Rumble as other champions, we heard from the desk, it's one of his favorites, and it is a very powerful champion, so going to trade it off for Morgana here.
And like you're saying, right, we expect Humanoid to pick up the Lucian. It's been one of his best champions, in my opinion, all split long. Armut would, could potentially play it. Karzi, I don't think he'd play that in the Lucian. That does not sound into
that doesn't sound fun at all.
That does not, right? That does not sound like a good time. And now for the side of RNG, they're continuing to round out their composition. I like so far, especially if they decide to lock in this Gnar as well. They have a lot of range to play with. They have a lot of playmaking potential as well. There's some pick tools. So their comp right now is pretty good, where thematically can kind of slot into a lot of different directions still.
All right, well, what's the third pick here? For Mad Lions, we see Shahu going to go back to the Gnar once again. Had a real bad time with Khan and Canyon in his top side of the map, but did just fine when the fights broke out. That was, again, mostly on Ming's Rel, which was looking good, but Kazi going to look for comfort here. Trist, I think, certainly good here as well, but going to opt for Kai'Sa instead, which has been the AD carry to go to when Varus isn't available, which is the difference here. Gala going to have Varus here in this 2v2.
That's the thing, right? When you ask, like, what do you pick into Varus, it's that nothing goes toe-to-toe with him in the laning phase. He scales incredibly well as well with the range he brings. So gonna go with the best option they have. They're signaling their comp is gonna be, very all in and very dive oriented. I think we already know that they're gonna want to play to snowball through mid lane, potentially try to turn that into some ganks into bot, depending on how the bottom lanes round out with these drafts.
Yeah, Tom Kenshin Twisted Fate, so some globals taken away. And there's Nautilus plus the Jace taken away. So Nautilus going to be lost there for Kai'Sa. Also for Ming, right? He hasn't picked support yet either. So both players losing a potential option there. Also curious what Cryan's going to play, right? You typically, or often I should say, want an AD mid laner when you have something like a Morgana. We have seen some double mage mid plus jungle. It's not egregious or anything, but I do see teams liking to pair ADs typically when they have Rumble or Morgana. Obviously for this case, it's going to be Humanoid Solution, which is great. Leona also gets through as a result here for Kaiser, so I'm not really sure what Ming wants to play. We did see Braum last game, could be something he busts out here.
Yeah, and right, they can definitely play the range game against what Mad have drafted so far if they wanted to go down that route. I'm with you, though. I'm more interested in what does Cryan pick into the Lucian. Syndra's open, and sure, it's a bit of a skill matchup, but I think it's pretty Lucian favored, especially it's been hit on many times throughout the year, the mana problems that Syndra can have in the early game. But Cryan, not much of a Syndra player, is going to just default back to the Victor.
Okay, so Victor here. just fine again. You do have enough, I think, damage diversity on the RNG side to be okay here. Definitely some nice scaling as well from the Victor, which will help Gala, who is not going to be nearly the same amount of threat as, say, his Kai'Sa or his Tristana would be in this kind of situation. But again, can't leave Varus up when it's available, so you do take it. As it looks like Silas is going to be the last pick here. No, it is going to be the Wukong for Armut in the top lane.
Yeah, and I actually like this pick. I definitely think when you look at Mad Lion's comp, it needs to be rounded out with a frontliner. Again, very typical dive composition, wants to go in. Your job is to get on top of Gala, burst him out immediately. They have a Prio that they can play around in the mid lane. They have some all-in potential with Armut at level 6. And then for the side of RNG, I think it is a bit... It's a bit more straightforward in the sense that, right, they're going to be very good front to back. It's going to once again be a comp that is great if you are standing in front of them. Varus throwing out his Qs, Laser coming out from Crine. They have ways to keep you at arm's length, but I think Mad has a lot of tools to close that distance.
Definitely, and I think it will be a very volatile game, which should be very fun to watch. I think every lane actually could potentially swing one way. Certainly Mad Lions on the more aggressive end of the early laning phase, so expecting to see that early game come out from them here. Tough task, of course, against a team like RNG, but if you can make it work, again, Mad Lions certainly capable of beating anyone at this tournament. I think their performance has looked pretty good so far, despite the spot they currently find themselves in. So for the NA fans, you are cheering for RNG to finish first in this group. The European fans, they would like not too many extra Mad Lion games today, so just one here to get them through will be just fine for the LEC. So we'll see what happens here. Very curious to see how this all shakes out. I was gonna say, because we talked a little bit about double mage, I like Zoe a lot with Morgana for that poke, but actually I realized Varus can fulfill a similar role. So I like that Royal have the additional poke element to their comp to kind of add on to like this, very like zone control-y disengage stuff they have going on.
And I feel like one very underlooked aspect of comps like the one RNG has is that, right, we typically default into situations where you're fighting over mid-wave to walk into river before Dragon comes up. And compositions like these thrive in those situations, right? RNG's comp loves when they're just sitting right in front of your face. You're both posturing. Neither of you are decisive enough to make a play happen. So there's going to be a lot of windows for RNG's comp to make this work. Again, what I'm looking for and what I'm happy about is Mad Lions have gone back to a more productive draft. And, we can see what they can do.
All right, well, as a reminder, it's a big game, so send us your tweets using Verizon 5G Ultra for the chance to be featured on the broadcast. Give us all your spiciest takes. Who's going to win this game? Are Mad Lions just going to have to walk through into the semifinals beating up RNG? RNG going to continue beating up everybody? What'd you have for breakfast today? How's it going? I don't know, whatever you want to tweet. Use that hashtag and get involved as RNG. We're going to finish first, a place they love to be in. Crying. Walking on in. Counterplay is so good. Kai'Sa finding the flash Q there. Humanoid's going to cut him off with the path, and that's first blood. Give it to the Lucia. That's what you want to see. The Mad Lions starting off nice.
Yeah, Mad Lions benefiting off just trying to get a ward right, not trying to do anything overly ambitious, but the members of Mad Lions are there to punish. And we talked about, hey, probably the strongest laning champion you have in your composition right now is the Lucian, one of the strongest laning champions in the game, if I'm going to be honest. Gets off to that 1-0 lead. Humanoid can start to dominate this matchup.
Yeah, love to see it there. And that honestly is just excellent homework by Mad Lions, right? Probably Scout that Crane likes to put that ward down, so they sit in that brush for the punish. Yes, a lot of teams like to do that, but very nice to see Mad getting creative from level 1 to start the game off right. Again, they need to have a good early game here. It's not, tragic or dire if they don't have the best early game, but you certainly want this comp to get ahead early and stay ahead.
And the thing is, right, now they have not only a lane that they can more easily get Prio through because now Crine has to respect, but now they can start punishing that flash.
Oh, Varus is filthy because he just eats damage. You can't really trade back. It's the short range Kai'Sa versus the slightly longer range than usual Varus, but add on the poke on top of that, and of course it's going to get much worse. So Kai'Sa and Kazi are going to get zoned off this wave. Kai'Sa already committed his flash and his ignite too for the level 1 play, so definitely a lot less pressure in the 2v2, and we already know Gala and Ming with that ignite on the Alistar, despite having something like a Varus here, more than happy to play aggressive.
And these are the dynamics we want to look at, right? To where we already highlighted Mad are going to look for pressure through mid. We're going to want to see if Gala and Ming can step up once again, maybe find some 2v2 kills in this laning phase, and give a strong pressure point for RNG going into the mid game. One area where Mad can try to punish that is if, Humanoid does start abusing a Fog of War, maybe hovering towards bot side, not allowing for Gala and Ming to play that far forward, but we're definitely going to need another standout performance from Ming if RNG want to lock in that guaranteed first place slot.
Yeah, Cryan also just going to have a tough time here. He's trading pretty nicely right now up against Humanoid, but Humanoid is just in his face constantly. Hasn't spent the gold he earned at level 1. That's probably the most important thing to consider. This roam from Ming is really nice, but a good bit of recon there. I believe it was Elyoya hitting that plan, but it might have been Leona, but regardless does spot the potential roam from Ming, and Mad are going to have to keep track of Ming all game long. He's a player that, again, loves to get out of lane and get roaming. That is kind of the support meta we have right now, as Humanoid is going to TP back in, finally spend up all that gold, and it's definitely a lot about, you know, keeping this early landing phase nice and healthy. Does have a cold, does have these potions, even a null-magic mantle to make Cryan's life that much harder in the 1v1.
Yeah, so Cryan not going to be able to find the same amount of damage onto him. Also going to be very efficient with the gold he is getting. Humanoid, though.
That's a very nice gravity field there for Cryan. Humanoid, again, we've seen it before. Lucian's running into Victors and having a bad time, even though Lucian is such a good laning champion. Can't run straight at Victor without eating punishment in a lot of cases, especially given that Victor typically outranges most of his lane opponents. But Humanoid, again, not backing down, which you like to see. Mad do have to put their foot down a little bit here as far as keeping things aggressive early, but RNG so far seem pretty happy just to farm it up. In fact, Jahu is doing really nicely up against Armut in the 1v1, although there is a pretty big wave for Armut to catch, so he will likely catch up as he collects those CS under the tower. But pressure feeling good for RNG in 2 lanes, and Cryan's holding on. That's all you really want. As Wei zooming in, they're going to have to be flashed out of there. And now the puddle's straight down. He finds the binding. Cryan, he's got a sitter, and there it is for Wei. As now Aloya comes over the top, but Ming is here. Still the trade happens. Wei low, but not dead, as Mad Lions do get the trade.
Yeah, 1-for-1 overall. RNG doing a nice job to punish Humanoid, and the lack of, I'd say, attention he's gotten in this lane so far from his own jungle and support. But once again, nice roam from Kaiser. Elyoya there to answer as well. And not too big of a deal for the side of Mad Lions, who are now 1 kill up.
And Xiaohu getting aggressive. Actually gets Armut pretty low, but there is the TP available, but Xiaohu is continuing that pressure. Oh, he has Halo Blades. Okay. I was trying to figure out how this was going on, but Xiaohu very confident in this isolated 1v1 right now.
It has been his go-to in a lot of matchups. He's been going back to the Halo Blades Snar, which of course combos with your Hyper and getting the 3-hit passive off. As Ming, though, getting low.
It's okay. Ming actually in more trouble, as you noted. But Gala firing back there with those Qs. So despite the aggression here, Gala actually down a couple CS, but we'll even that out as both ADs just fine here as far as the farm battle goes. But it is a pretty protracted 2v2 here as I watch this replay. Really nicely done here for Wei. It's Humanoid dashing in, trying to make it happen.
And once again, just really good gravity field placement, right? Forcing the flash out. He's going to get taken down, but Elyoya is here.
Ooh, hello. Down we go, Mad Lions looking for the dive. Ming gonna have to flash away. Humanoid looking in there, grabs himself a kill, and now Gala in trouble.
And Pastry, this is what we talked about early on in draft, right? We said, hey, it's going to be about getting pressure mid and potentially turning this into dives and ganks in the bot lane. We hadn't even seen the bot lane yet when we predicted that in draft, but nice to see Mad Lions following the plan to a T. Armut's just going to be safe sitting up here on his island. Again, he's going to be much more about just providing that ulti later on in team fights. And the question is, can Mad Lions keep going? Can they find more? You know, maybe start turning this into some objectives like a Dragon or a Rift Herald, which is going to be up in about a minute and a half.
Yeah, no Dragons taken just yet, but from @Noah Game Design, hashtag Madwin. RNG may be good, but this is EU. You can win this game with the spirit of G2. RNG fans will remember that not so fondly as it turns out, but certainly, again, a very winnable game for Mad Lions. And looking good right now.
As long as it's not the spirit of, you know, the G2 and 8 year, I feel like Mad Lions are in a, you know, pretty good place with that.
All right, let's watch this dive again. Elyoya in there alongside Humanoid coming up the rear.
Yeah, gets knocked away, but the big problem, right, is that Humanoid is here, dashes in, has enough damage. He's the member that does have the gold lead on the side of Mad Lions. Gala not able to do anything in response, and just a play that Mad Lions are able to secure with the prio that they've pretty consistently had in mid throughout this game.
Yeah, Kazi with the level lead actually now. Gala and Ming both only level 4. It is Kazi at level 5. Elyoya now level 6. We know that is the money level for Rumble, and actually that's true in all positions Rumble plays. Way there with his ulti as well, but going to be a bit more impactful on the Rumble side, you have to think, as Armut continuing to try and trade here. Has actually evened up the CS really nicely. Xiaohu's going to try and rebuild the lead he got for himself. But again, with the steel caps, actually, Armut going to go in here. Oh, a massive amount of damage. He's maybe going to look for the solo kill. Elyoya is here as well. Now Xiaohu's going to have to flash away, but the harpoon is true, and Elyoya gets the kill, but that was all Armut.
Oh, really nice play. Wei might be caught out as well.
Yeah, Humanoid again continuing the aggressive roams. There's the calling. That's going to be an easy one for Elyoya. Gets his second kill, actually his third total. but 2 in about as many seconds.
The West has learned, Pastry. We're finally starting to see teams like Cloud9 and Mad Lions draft more aggressive comps in the early game, have more confidence in their laning prowess, in their early skirmishing ability. And now we're over a 2K gold lead as Kaiser goes in.
Oh, Ming kicks him out. Good play there for RNG, but this bottom lane, even with Varus, not enough to stem the bleeding that Mad Lions are creating in this top half of the map. Humanoid and Elyoya looking so good right now as Cryan is trying to keep Humanoid out, but all he can do is counter push the waves. We already have the Rift Child finished, and you know, for a man whose Rumble's KDA, it wasn't looking all that hot. Can kind of rewrite all that here in this game. This Rumble's looking mighty fine.
It's great to see, and you know, now RNG gonna go to their plan of trying to play around their bot lane, waiting in the wings. You do have cleanse up for cars, you do have both flashes available as well, so I don't know how much RNG can get here.
No flash either for Ming. This feels really tricky. We're gonna have to find the bind and gets the Chilling Smite down. And Kaiser, nice little angle there, walks away from that, even had the W on just in case. So no follow-up there. Wei just kind of walks down and Kaiser walks out.
And now Elyoya might be able to come find something in response. The equalizer is back up.
Of course it is. Kaiser, oh, what a great flash by Gala there, but Kaiser still looking for it here. Solo Flare's going to be dodged. Ming has to keep on going. The Black Shield's there. Good ulti out of Gala. Does a lot of damage to Kaiser, but Elyoya's just in there. So much damage. Ulti out of Kazi. Mad Lions, they're doing it there. Is now Kazi perhaps a step too far, but no, it's not. It's Mad Lions knowing their limits, pushing them perhaps a touch too far. Finally, his Wei is going to grab that kill, but now Gala, can he find another? The Q's not going to hit Kaiser. Kazi is out of there. So it's just 1 for 1.
So close still. I think it's good that RNG were able to find a kill in that play. I honestly thought it was straight up doom the second we saw Elyoya hovering over. And I'm honestly a bit surprised that Cryan is winning this so hard.
How did you run out of health so badly? The calling is that Cryan gonna get the dump down with the Chaos Storm. It is gonna be a trade. But my goodness, Humanoid, what have you been doing in that 1v1?
Yeah, really struggling heavily against Cryan. And again, it's just been isolated, right? We haven't seen him on the map since the dive in bot side. And I like that Cryan went for it. He did go down, but showing up with the confidence play. Now we get back onto the map. You see actually both supports are on the top half of the map. The big difference, though, is Wei is bot side. Elyoya is up here. If Xiao had overextended, could have been a potential play for the side of Mad Lions.
All right, well, let's watch this bottom side play first. Because again, Elyoya with the ulti at the ready. Oh goodness, there's a 1v1 happening in mid lane.
Yeah, we have a lot going on, but yeah, coming into this play, right, we have the Leona ultimate coming out, followed by the equalizer as...
Okay, we have no time at all. Kazi not gonna get assassinated here by Wei as Gala finally gonna find himself a kill in this one. So RNG starting to fight back a little here as the Mad Lions also not stopping their aggression, looking to wrap mid. Ming gonna be caught in transition. He knows something's wrong. He has his ulti. Oh no, a little too far forward. Forced to pop the ulti as Mad Lions do at least get that, but Kaiser, every time I see a Leona on my screen, doesn't matter how wild the position looks, I expect him to go flying over the wall, but this time Kaiser does hold on to his cooldowns.
You know, let's just take a second to appreciate how good of support we have this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, I love watching Kaiser. I think Ming has been the best player in this tournament in general. Like, as a ball-focused meta has brought some very good supports here. As Gala gonna have to outrun Kaiser. Should be fine. There's a meeting wave here as well.
Yeah, he should be able to get away. Equalizer's up, though.
Oh, good little juke there, but Equalizer, oh, it's just so filthy. Elyoya just roams. He grabs kill number 4.
Pastry, every time we come back to Rumble, the equalizer is ready up once again. It's just such an easy point of attack for the side of Mad Lions, continuing to find kills. They should be able to pick up some plates. I honestly think they should even turn this into an early Drake. It does look like they're going to do that after placing down the Strict Hero.
This is nice. Kazi going to get so much gold here off these plates. Has more than enough wave with that cannon creep there to get this all down. So that's first tower goal over now to Mad Lions with Kazi getting the lion's share of that. They're going to transition to this Drake as well. Mad Lions were up like 1,500 gold before that point. Now they're up 3K as Ming is going to get a look in, and Elyoya does just barely miss the smite, but thankfully for him, nothing Ming can really do to try and get it, so that is Dragon as well to the Lions.
That's the thing, right? Very clear that Mad Lions are ahead in this game. We highlighted how they have a more potent early game composition. They're fighting the kills they need, double the kills of RNG. But a silver lining for RNG is the fact that first Drake happening at 12 minutes in the game is nice, right? You're not going to be put on any sort of timer, and you do have the victor on your team. Varus also does scale up incredibly well, so the side of RNG will have opportunities. We've seen Xiaohu's Gnar do wonders with his ultimates before. And yeah, I definitely don't think RNG are out of this game just yet, but the onus is on Mad Lions to keep pushing their snowball forward.
Yeah, kind of what we saw in the last game, really. Although I guess it was Down One that was looking to play later RNG this time on that side of the scale. But we'll, of course, be looking to Ming. Alistar, certainly a champion you can make some pretty big engages on. Don't think you get quite the embarrassment of riches that Rel gets when she finds the right angles, as understandably Cloud9 are keeping a very close eye on this game, Lyric.
They definitely are. And, you know, I feel like for Cloud9, it's looking a bit worrying so far. But at the same time, right, you can never count RNG out, so not doomed just yet. We do have Mythics coming out on both sides. Of course, Mad Lions ahead on Mythics because they are ahead. Gale Force and Kraken Slayer, I think, the two most noteworthy ones. To where on the opposite side, Duskblade coming out for Gala.
Yeah, a little bit cheaper, but certainly going to be a powerful tool for him. We'll see if he can get that poke happening here. Again, it's just all Mad Lions right now. You're right. They have the first tower. They're applying the pressure. They get to be the more proactive team, right? That's the thing they've earned from not just the picks they've chosen for this early game, but also the way they played out with those picks, getting themselves an advantage here. Humanoid with the blue buff is going to continue to perma push, crying in. Whatever happened earlier on in the 1v1 is clearly not happening anymore. And Kazi's just completely taking over this top half of the map with the rest of his team because he knows that you got the support in. Gala can't come anywhere near this tower. So it's going to get yet another objective.
And this mid game has become pretty rinse and repeat for the side of Mad Lions, right? They're making the same play. If they realize, hey, we have prio on mid, we're going to lean towards top side, get some vision down. If they overstep, we find a pick. If not, we force them off turret. We deny some EXP, we deny some gold, and we pick up this turret ourselves. They're going to also be able to turn this into Rift Herald. For the side of RNG, I don't think they have a clear answer. I don't really think they are potent enough to dive Armut, as Humanoid just going to take a little bit of damage.
Chaos still in there for Crane, basically nullifying the culling that was coming in, but I think Humanoid is, again, just maybe trying to clear the wave, getting some pressure down. There's plenty of RNG members around here in the mid lane, so Humanoid does have to be a bit respectful. But Alioya is going to grab that second Rift Herald here. This is what RNG did to Down One, I feel like, in the last game, right? Got ahead, took the Rift Heralds, getting things rolling. It was, you know, maybe a different... They're one in different places, but the philosophy is the same here for Mad Lions, and now they're getting further and further ahead here. 3,500 gold with RNG still yet to take a turret.
It's also a bit strange, right? Because I feel like every time we come to internationals, it goes the opposite way, where it's like, okay, we come in with very aggressive early game picks, and teams slowly realize, hey, it's more about scaling, it's more about playing safe, playing like correctly, minimizing mistakes. And we come to MSI, and it feels like it's the complete opposite. Teams that are like, no, we need more early prio, we need more early skirmishing power. That's why we've been seeing more Udyr, we've been seeing more Volibear come out, we're seeing more Zoe as the course of the tournament goes on. And again, it's just very different from what we usually see in internationals. And I'd also say a very nice change of pace to see so much skill expression come out.
Absolutely. Okay, Armut TPing in. They want Crane here. He's very isolated here in the top half of the map. Does put the gravity field down. That's really nicely played, but the spin is going to come through. Going to be forced to flash as the equalizer. Going to take a pretty nice chunk of health out of him, so Crane does escape, but it costs him quite a lot to get out there.
Still, really nice placement of the gravity field. Armut was able to outplay it, but able to then flash away safely. Equalizer doesn't get him, so a big resource investment from the side of Mad Lions. Though, Mad Lions doing a great job of using that prio to turn mid and get this
TP
as well.
is ambitious. Crying. Yeah, going to get a cancel. Oh, no, he actually is in. Never mind, but looked a little risky with the rest of Mad Lions standing there, but it's only Armut's clone that's going to be attacked, so they will back off. Chahu did get bottom tower. That's kind of, I think, why RNG are pressing so heavily here. There's no dragon up for 40 seconds, so RNG know they need to open up the map a little bit more. Otherwise, there's going to be no space at all for him to make plays with. But the counterplay is potentially here. Humanoid's got the TP, although he's busy topside right now. And RNG, they're trying to siege down this tower. You know, this is where RNG want to be, poking you out from under your tower, sieging you in a structure, but Humanoid's just chilling in the sideline, and Mad Lions aren't really afraid of RNG's group right now.
And the thing is, they should be fine with RNG taking Dragon as well, right? If Humanoid can get this turret, get some gold, I think Mad Lions are okay with that trade. They can still potentially look to contest, right? Because Humanoid does have TP. Xiaohu gonna make his way around, but without any rage built up, I don't really think he can take this 1v1.
And really not particularly good against Lucian, especially this Lucian. Gale Force at the ready. In fact, once again, Alioya is over here in the right time. In fact,
no equalizer.
It's just going to be a dive. Over the top he goes, Xiaohu! Now going to go Mega. No, it's not going to be in time. The calling from Humanoid is good as he takes down RNG's top laner.
He didn't need an equalizer pastry because he was the equalizer this time, flashing over the wall. This is the type of confidence we want to see out from players like Alioya. He, you know, just showing up so massively in LEC. Nice to see another good performance out from him. And, you know, he's been gravitating towards this Rumble. I think he's had some questionable performances, but this time around, not only is he playing great, but his team has been playing around him, and the gold lead just keeps piling up for the side of Mad Lions.
Yes, 1,000 gold plus up for Kazi, 2,000 I think up for Humanoid, and about 1,000 up for Ilyoya as well as Humanoid collects his Essence Reaver. RNG in a pretty big hole right now, 18 minutes in. And yes, they did get the Dragon, so we'll have Ocean Soul for this particular game, but we might not get there, given the pace that Mad Lions are showing so far.
No, definitely not. And, you know, we're starting to get some item advantages coming out for the side of Mad Lions. Mid lane being the big one, to where we're now 2 items out for Humanoid. Krine still only on his Mythic. You would assume he probably has some gold in his pocket, though, for potential components, but Xiaohu might get caught out.
Yeah, 1v3, obviously can't win that. Hops out in Meganar form, so it's pretty safe. Also has the Stride Breaker if he needs a little bit of additional mobility, but they're going to lose this tower. Not even close to reinforcing in time here, as RNG have to go the long way around to try and secure their own jungle. Armut going to dive in, gets shoved back by Xiaohu. Armut does start spinning, so at least they trade cooldowns there, but Ming again, like, don't face that Humanoid. You have to ulti to do that, and going to lose the tower regardless. Mad not stepping too far forward, just taking the objective they knew they could get, and then backing off. Now 6,000 gold ahead.
I'm kind of surprised he went for that. Oh god, Krine is caught out. He doesn't have TP either. Can he get out in time, Pastry?
So, oh no, Kazi just barely missed that W.
Oh, that was so close, and they even dedicated Humanoid's TP towards that as well. To be fair, not like he really needs TP for anything at this point in time, and they will have Armut's TP up soon as well to start pressuring on opposite side for objectives. Ilyoya, though.
Wei's in there. Flash Chilling Smite ulti. Ming's there. That's a great safe zone. Wei might just die. Ming can't do this damage on his own. So now they're going to have to back away. Kaiser finds a slow on the solo flare. Xiaohu's here, but now he's going to dive back in. This is the fight they want. No, it's not. Mad Lions looking to capitalize now. Xiaohu's going to be left out to dry as Armut gets that kill. And now Wei, way too low to be pressing forward here. Ming also a target there, as there's a double kill out of the Wukong. And Gala's throwing poke. He's doing good damage, but there's just nothing left in this fight as Humanoid is shoving down top lane.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get so much on the map with this. And that looked like a play of desperation from RNG. It started off where I can empathize, right? They feel like they find the pick onto Ilyoya, but when Xiaohu jumps in and looks for that ultimate, very clearly only going to be onto Kaiser, that one was a bit of a head scratcher, and Mad Lion just able to punish the decisions.
All right, so again, I like the attempt for RNG, right, trying to find a play, but just not looking too good in the new Axe Spec replays. Ilyoya just turns it right around.
And the thing is, they just don't have the damage, right? Even if Morgana wasn't forced away, not having enough to burst him out, Krine, really dangerous TP.
Tough time for the replay guy, because so much action in these games. Is Krine getting out of there, but where do you really go? The Chaos Storm's actually pretty good. Xiaohu looking for it, but you need to find a kill here. It's not enough to get them low. Gala with a massive Q does not kill Kazi, and now Armut is caught out. Wei, who's going to have to Black Shield himself to safety, but Krine still trying to fight it out. Wei pops the ulti there. They get the stun. They get the kill. RNG finally get themselves something good. Xiaohu hopped on his teammate's head. Stride Breaker's in, trying to keep pressing forward, but RNG, just no gas left in the tank.
You know, Karzi somehow getting Krine. Maybe with a W,
nice
but...
W, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but Krine being very over-ambitious with his teleports this game. We've seen it a few times now, pretty much TPing right in front of the enemy's face, but I feel like a big takeaway from that fight is that RNG at least are very conscious of how they want to play this comp, right? We said, hey, it's about keeping Mad Lions at arm's length, trying to kite them out. You have a ton of range to play with. They were able to do that to find some kills. And here's what we talked about. Krine actually already coming in, Xiaohu as well following up. And this is where they get a little bit chunked out. They are able to try to force Mad Lions away, but Armut on the opposite end looking to come in. He wants to take him out, but very clutch binding coming out from Wei. The gravity field comes out. They're able to dish out a lot of this damage. Armut goes down, and then we see Xiaohu trying to find the engage. But I want to keep my eyes on Karzi. When does the W come, Pastry?
It's like 10 years away. Oh, are you kidding me?
There it is.
Nice one, Kazi.
Yep. Aziz.
I don't know if he expected that one.
He did it. Sad crying.
All right, well, gonna shake it off because RNG, you're still very far behind here. 7K about Sarah's Mad Lions still looking good, but the fight's gonna continue here as Ilyoya finds the equalizer in mid. Gala gonna be forced to flash out. Good ulti though as Ming now have to get out, burning the ulti as Krine's low once again, and Xiaohu's gonna have to find the re-engage, but I don't know what he can really do here. Kazi a little low, but RNG just they can't like fight the initial onslaught long enough to like counterpunch, right? Mad Lions are just getting in so fast and so quickly, kind of using that gold advantage to just smash RNG before the fight really begins for them.
The thing though is, right, as long as RNG doesn't go down and give kills over, it's not a big deal. And actually I was wrong. Cryin apparently didn't TP in that last play because he's TPing in now.
All right, almost the target here. RNG looking to find him. 3v1. Oh, that ulti was so clutch. Just barely clipped Xiaohu as he tried to hop in looking for the ulti. Still has a bit of rage left, but they're going to get kited out themselves here. Rumble Harpoon, a pretty good disengage tool as it turns out. Now Moody's out of there.
Yeah, Mad Lions escape, but again, going back to my last point, I actually don't think it's too bad for RNG to not be able to finish off kills in fights as long as they themselves aren't dying, right? Because they're the team that's 7,000 or 6,000 gold behind. So you would think going into these fights, they should very dramatically be going down. Mad Lions should be pushing their advantage forward. So as long as that isn't happening for RNG, I think they're content with the pace of the game. For Mad Lions, though, they're still stacking objectives. They're still the team that controls the map. But yeah, I feel like we got to see a bit more out of Mad Lions, maybe try and turn this into a Baron. I still feel like they're in a position where if they force RNG to come into them and they can find that engage, they can turn around with the Wukong ultimate, they can drop the equalizer down as well. They will very clearly take a fight.
Right, and we've seen what Matt can do, right? That team fight looks very easy at this point, you know? For RNG, we're looking at Ming, we're looking at Xiaohu, and even Wei's been playing really well on this Morgana as Xiaohu's gonna try something in. No, surely not.
I was gonna say, no way he can win pace.
I was like, where is the other player? And there was no other player. I was like, okay, he's not doing that, never mind. Xiaohu also waiting for his TP to cool back down or off, I suppose. But again, like Gala can do well on this Varus, does a decent amount of damage out for auto attacking. Obviously the poke is really strong. But the big threat is Cryin, right, on this Victor. And that is not something that has really been asked of Cryin so far this tournament, to have a big performance on a scaling mage and really go off. But he has to do that this game, because if RNG are going to push this game late, even though his team can support him well, Cryin has to be the one to do a lot of the damage.
Definitely, he's going to need to step up and maybe have the best game of, you know, his tournament so far if they want to win against Mad Lions, because Mad Lions doing a good job. They're trying to control Vision right now in chokes, force a member of RNG to walk into them and find a pick. They have control of sides, they have control of mid, and they're just kind of doing this push and pull, right? You look at top side, that wave's pushing out. They look at bot, that's pushing out Armut, waiting for them to overextend to find that massive flank with his ultimate.
Right, you know, it's decisive for Mad Lions, but not lazy, right? It's calculated, but still aggressive. I really love how they've been playing this game, and this is the perfect start for the Baron. Armut's ready with a massive flank. Mad Lions know there's no vision here. RNG have to walk into fog to try and contest here. And okay, as I said, there's actually control of it on the Baron, but Mad Lions don't overcommit. They may finally lose their mid outer tower, but given that it's been up for almost 26 minutes, that's a pretty good thing for Mad Lions here, as they'll give this one away.
Yeah, and right, they were trying to force RNG and they were trying to find that fight, but RNG actually went in very cautiously, and I think the important thing as well is that they kept formation. You didn't see them like walking in lazily. Everyone was right next to each other. Their comp wants to be grouped to throw out those long-range skill shots. Xiaohu was in front. Ming was leading the chart as well. Mad Lions realized, hey, we need to back off. Now it's going to be back to, hey, we go out, we push out our waves, we get some vision control down bot side because Dragon will come up within the next 2 minutes, and we try to find picks on this half of the map.
I think it is nice to see from both teams, actually. You know, a lot of patience, a lot of poise. RNG know how bad the spot is, right? They're not overcommitting. They're just trying to poke around and get what they can and try and keep the game steady. For Mad Lions, doing the same thing, even though they have a lead. They're pressing when they feel they can press, but they are not overextending themselves, which early on in the tournament, at least, I think all the way back to the very start, Mad Lions certainly were having mid games where they were just getting too aggressive in spots. So this is really nice play from them. Again, very clinical, but still applying enough pressure. They know they need to be the ones still pressing forward. Cryin finally finishes fairly outer ring for RNG, but Mad Lions take the tier 2 and mid as a response. It is 6 towers to 3, not to mention the gold lead that is still looking very healthy for Mad Lions.
And the thing is, right, they have some vision down on bot side as well, so RNG still need to walk through their jungle. Mad Lions are going to see them coming, try to deny some of that vision, get some wards down on that next dragon. It makes you wonder if either team, potentially RNG right now, because you look at where their vision is, if they're going to try to play more towards that top side and say, hey, you take dragon number 3, we're going to look to rush a Baron or something along those lines to try to counteract Mad's stacking of dragons.
Wei kills that plant. That looked a little aggressive, but does have enough safety. Teammates pretty close behind as well. As you mentioned, it does seem like RNG trying to take over this top half of the map at Elioya. This flank could be everything. That control was pretty nice, but Elioya not going forward into the vision. Has the equalizer at any time. Kaiser ready with the ulti as well.
We see Elioya actually doing a really good job of managing his heat as well. Equalizer come out any time and he'll have his full
how did Armut
available.
Get down here? Okay, does get spotted. RNG again being very clinical about how they sweep out their jungle, right? They know when they don't have vision. They are being very respectful to the threats that Mad Lions are showing, which is good for them and maybe frustrating for Mad Lions in a certain way. But Mad Lions don't need to do too much here. Still up 5k, still stacking towards the souls. They're going to take this dragon. RNG not going to have time to really threaten this Baron. They are going to look for it, right? They have to. But they know they're not going to get this dragon, and Mad Lions already just leave Humanoid there. Let Almut have that camp, and, you know, let RNG take their time clearing this vision out because they know they can't just start it. Mad Lions will get in there very quickly and should easily win a team fight where they're still 5-6k up.
I'm glad because RNG having a team that I wouldn't be surprised if they started it and looked for a fight in this situation.
Dollar missing that ulti on the Kaiser. Not even the best possible target you could get, but you have to try something. RNG, they've turned the lights off here, so they are going to start the Baron. This is quite risky on the RNG side.
I mean, at this point, right, Mad, we're pushing so far down lanes, you wouldn't be able to match them. You need to try them pull them yourself.
All right, he's going to take out this inhib, so they're going to have to go for it. Almut, though, this is so scary for the RNG side, but the Mad Lions looking to light it up. And what an equalizer there as Ming goes down, and Almut, he's found the flank, and the Mad Lions are looking to take down RNG. It's a double kill for Kazi. It's Crying left alone, and he's going to be crying towards that red buff because Mad Lions are going to take him out. Almut finds the ace. And Mad are gonna get the Baron as well. What a turnaround.
And it makes me wonder, can they just end right now? Armut TPing to the bot lane. There's only 10 seconds on Ming. I don't think so, but really nice play coming out from Mad, right? They use their macro. They put RNG in the position where they need to choose Baron or lose a bunch of our base for nothing. They find the fight. Beautiful equalizer. They're at least going to get some inhibs as well. And Mad Lions step up when they most need to.
Almost doubling the gold lead, actually. And they're still going. They're making it better. Ming here going to try and interfere with as many minions as he can. But Mad Lions are doing so much damage. 3 inhibs now being taken by Mad Lions.
I was going to say pastry. Equalizer up once again. I don't know why we point it out anymore because we know it's up all the time, but yeah, really nice play coming out from Mad. Again, RNG were forced into this position because Mad were already pushing so far down, bot so far down. Mid equalizer comes out, takes out Ming immediately, and then Armut on the back end with that ultimate locking multiple members up. Humanoid able to jump in and force Xiaohu out, takes him down. Armut following up on Crying the GG emote, and that is Baron.
And the Mad Lions, again, this win locks him in the semifinals. Very happy in their corner. As they may be wondering, hey, could we win that game? I like ending the game. But again, gonna slow it down a little bit. Don't need to push too far forward. We do also see, we have a quick moment here. Blabber in the player cam. It sucks, man. Like, no one's gonna pretend it doesn't suck. You know, it's never a good feeling when you have to rely on your opponents. And for Mad Lions, they were the ones with destiny in their own hands. They're looking to push through here, take out RNG, which is a feat in and of itself. More importantly for them, push them into the semi-final series. Ming, one last desperate attempt to try and make it happen, but it's Mad Lions that have too much. Humanoid's gonna get one. Crying actually does get a kill there, but Xiaohu now gonna TP in, still has the ulti ready to go, but they are just so far behind in gold. Xiaohu, one last attempt, throws in the Wukong, but that's not gonna be it. Mad Lions looking for that Nexus. They find way. In goes Humanoid onto Gala, but Gala's still alive for the time being, but he's not near his Nexus. Mad Lions, they have done it. They will take down RNG, and they will claim the final spot in the knockout stage.
Great drafting coming out from Mad Lions. We saw the adaptations we wanted to see. Standout performances from multiple players on this squad. Humanoid on the Lucian, Kaiser finding amazing engages, and El Yoya on this Rumble. It was a sight to see how he managed his heat, some of those equalizers, and I'd say well-deserved from Mad Lions.
Oh, absolutely. You don't beat RNG lightly, right? That's not something that comes easily to any team.
Damwon couldn't even do it.
Mad Lions actually make it look pretty clean today. As, you know, maybe El Yoya was throwing the Rumble KDA.